Clark. You bet.
WNBA rookie Caitlin Clark made a name for herself in college when she became the highest-scoring basketball player in NCAA history. Her professional career is off to a good start, but the player's extensive media coverage has not been without controversy. Kelvin Washington is following her story. Kelvin.
Thanks, Lisa. Women's basketball has never seen anything like Caitlin Clark. The WNBA rookie helped draw record numbers of viewers to her final NCAA championship this spring, and now she's taking the professional world by storm. LA Times sports writer Kevin Baxter wrote about the marketing boom surrounding Clark and why some players, well, they feel slighted. And he joins me now. It's good to have you here, Kevin. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me.
But I want to start with, for those who maybe have seen her face, seen the commercials or a social media clip here or there, talk about just how dominant and how spectacular she has been thus far in her through college and her first few games in the WNBA.
6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three.
So she is drawing crowds everywhere she goes. She had 55,000 people come out to a football stadium to watch her play a practice game her last year in college. She is definitely going to revolutionize the game in a number of different ways. She's already making a change in the WNBA. This year, for the first time ever, they're going to fly charter. They never did that before.
Right. And, well, you mentioned something there. A lot of folks are, it was a big deal. They're going to be flying charter, and there's been a lot of changes, and some people are being able to benefit the players because of her stardom. Not everybody's excited about that. There's been a little bit of drawback if you watch any of the sports debate shows. Give me some of the reasons folks maybe are a little dismayed by her, or maybe even a bit disgruntled by all the fame that comes with her.
Well, you mentioned the marketing part of it. She signed a shoe contract for $28.5 million. Michael Jordan's first shoe contract was less than a tenth of that. So this is how big Caitlin Clark is. But there's a problem. Caitlin Clark is white, straight, and she's from Iowa. She's coming into a league that is 70% black, about 30% LGBTQ, with most of the players coming from the coast. So Caitlin Clark is a unicorn in a lot of different ways in the WNBA. The word jealous is wrong. I don't think they're jealous because Caitlin Clark is raising their level of income, their level of the way their teams are treated on the road and travel, their pay, everything. But there are some players and some journalists asking questions. Why has this not happened before? Because we've had other players come in like Candace Parker, like Lisa Leslie, Brittany Griner, who came in and revolutionized the game in their own way, but they were black. And there's been some studies done. There was a woman, Nicole Melton, who teaches at the University of Massachusetts. She did a study 2 years ago where she looked at 550 online articles from a number of different journals, and she found out that black players in WNBA received just a fraction of the media attention that white players did, even though the black players were superior. One of them was a two-time All-Star named Aja Wilson, who had talked about the fact that she thinks that a lot of the attention Caitlin Clark is getting is because of her race.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Aja Wilson, two-time MVP, maybe the best player in the WNBA right now. Also a big personality herself. Race, they're saying not the only thing, but you can't deny this. Give me more thoughts on someone like a Jamel Hill on what they've been saying, how this contributes.
Well, they talk about the erasure of the black player. In other words, what the black player has accomplished is erased, and a white player comes along. And Caitlin Clark is, in a lot of ways, I feel bad for Caitlin Clark because she has done everything right, and she is a revolutionary player. She will change the way the NBA or the WNBA is played. For example, she's a guard. She's a shooting guard. They haven't had a guard win the MVP award in the WNBA since 2009. The game has been played in the paint. Caitlin Clark is changing that much the way that Steph Curry changed the NBA. She's a downtown shooter. She has something called a logo three. That's a three-point shot that comes closer to the logo at midcourt than it does to the three-point line. It's incredible to watch her play, and she will revolutionize the game. But people are saying it's not just her talent. That's a big part of it. That's the biggest part of it. It's not just her talent. It's the fact that she's different in a league that has struggled to gain a foothold with the American viewing public.
Listen, here in the States, obviously, with the history when it comes to race, you can obviously see why some folks would say that. I also wonder, too, how much social media has to play with this. Her clips are easily digestible, right? It's fun. You send it around. Hey, she's shooting threes from the logo, as you mentioned. She's crossing people over. How much does that play a role? And maybe even you think about the beef she's had, or at least the presumed beef with Angel Reese and the back and forth with LSU when they were both in college?
I think both players handled that very well. They talked about Caitlin Clark talked about, hey, look, we all do trash talking. Angel Reese was a little, maybe she was a little jealous because at that time Caitlin Clark was getting all the headlines. And Angel Reese actually has more social media followers. So it's setting up a little bit, like a magic bird thing we had in the NBA from decades ago. Two great players, one black, one white, playing for different teams.
How important is it, do you think, that she follows through and not only just was a success and a phenomenon, but actually a great talent and has a great WNBA career to kind of continue this rise, if you will, for the WNBA?
Well, one thing about her and Steph Curry, too, the same thing, is they're normal-sized people. Caitlin Clark is 6 foot, about 150 pounds. You can look at that and say, hey, I might be able to do that. She's not 6'9", she's not 7 foot tall. And the same with Steph Curry. You can look at that and see yourself in her. But one thing I really like, you talked about the 19,000 people that were at Crypto.com Arena, and that's a Sparks record. The people that have been coming to games, I've talked to people, other people have gone to games. There's black people, there's Asian people, there's Hispanic people out there with their video recorders and taking video of Caitlin Clark and bringing their kids. And I think you can quantify the fact that white players have historically gotten more media attention and more sponsorship deals and all that. Caitlin Clark is reaching beyond some of the boundaries that perhaps people like us in the media have put on her stardom. She's touching people from every community, and that's why I think you get 55,000 people to come out and watch her play a practice game.
Kevin Baxter, thank you so much. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.